So as long as I've been around the network, I think this is the first true commercial marketing initiative that has been taken. And I'm very excited about it. And then the work that Ali and Marley did is just amazing. I think this is just one of many. Just so you guys know, we will be doing 3 commercial campaigns next year, one spring, one summer, one fall. And so this is just the start of good things to come. So, Ali, thanks for your hard work, and I'll let you take your part.
Appreciate it. Well, I'm actually going to, we're passing back and forth. I'm actually going to pass it on to Marley to get us started and kicked off. And for those who haven't met Marley, just going to introduce herself just so you guys get to meet her.
Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here. Thank you all for joining us. I know we had to move around the call a few times, so I'm hoping that this is super valuable for everybody that has made some calendar adjustments. So thank you. Just a quick background on me. I joined about 30 to 45 days ago. I don't have my counter in front of me. So I've been meeting with a lot of you guys. We've met one-to-one. I've heard a lot about your local businesses. Still trying to get in on an estimate session if Sherry Armentrout's on the call. I'm emailing you after this. So I'm trying to get boots on the ground and see everything that I can soak up 5-Star Painting as a brand. But today we're going to dive into commercial marketing, and then we're going to pass it back over to Greg. He's going to dive into the strategy, some operations items, and our team is really going to focus on marketing. I love this quote. I think it does such a good job of explaining marketing and how it's always evolving, always moving, and how it's important to have a mindset of innovation when it comes to creating change in your marketing. So we're going to talk through the strategy around commercial marketing today. And I want to challenge everyone to think of it as more than just a campaign. It's really a strategic approach to educating business owners in your local area about the 5-Star brand and the unique business solution that you guys are now offering by providing commercial solutions. So simply put, and I know y'all have heard this a lot of times, but we need to go where the pain is happening. And the light commercial market is growing, and we're here to capture that new business. And that's what we're trying to do through this campaign. So background on this marketing campaign before Ali dives into the specifics of the tactics. Since this is one of the first touch points that you guys will have with these individual business decision makers, it might take some time for us to see them convert into leads, and that's okay. When it comes to first-time audiences, it takes around 7 to 11 touch points for us to create change within customers. So moving them through the funnel, bringing them from aware into that conversion, and then eventually into a loyal customer base. The goal for this campaign is to lay a really strong foundation, set ourselves up for that future campaign engagement, conversations, and then also positioning your businesses as trusted business partners for the first time with a lot of these decision makers. So to do that, Ali is going to walk us through those specific tactics, some options for you guys, and how we're going to start to make that change.
Well, going into the whole campaigns, a lot of you guys have already seen these slides, so a little bit of a refresher. Some of you may have already been signed up for this already, but just kind of reintroducing this again, just in case if you haven't decided yet or you've been sitting on it. Yeah, just a quick little reminder on everything. This is, you remember our spring campaign back starting in March. This is basically the spring campaign, just a little bit longer and more commercial based. So hyper-local drip campaign. Going to be targeting those decision makers, like Marley said. You'll have the option to do targeted email, display retargeting, Facebook lead ads, and then if you want to, you can do mailers. And like Marley said, we need to go where the paint is happening and light commercial is growing. All right, so just a quick summary of the campaigns. There's 3 package options. It ranges from $1,900 to $4,800. It is a 2-month cadence instead of a 6-week like we're typically used to. You have a mix of digital and print. You can use all of your zip codes. There's a minimum of 25,000 that it needs to reach. So with the industries you choose, we want to make sure we're getting as much as we can. So 25,000 is the minimum. You can select any light commercial industry. I know some are focusing on specific industries, so you can select those. If you want a wide variety, you can do that. And then one recommendation that I didn't mention before, but maybe think about doing, is you can add in geofencing to the addresses that are being sent out to those commercial places. So think about adding that too into your mix as well. We've organized them as a good, better, best package. So each package has one extra thing added on to make it a good, better, best. These are just the basic good packages. John, you want to ask your question before I start getting into everything? Oh, can you unmute John, or are we?
Me?
Oh, not you, John. John DeShane. We got multiple Johns on the call. All right, I'll keep going.
Larry has a question in the chat, Allie. If someone wants to watch it, there's a question in the chat.
Okay. Marley, are you okay answering the chat questions while I go through all this? Perfect. Okay. So for the good packages, lowest budget is $1,900. That's going to be with 4 email sends. So you'll get 2 in the first month, 2 in the second month, and then you'll have display retargeting going that full 2 months. For the second option, it's $2,900 for email sends. So same as the first package, but this one has Facebook lead ads going for the full 2 months. And then you want to go crazy, spend a little bit more. You'll get 4 emails, 2 in the first month, 2 in the second month. And then for the full 2 months, you'll have display retargeting going and Facebook lead ads. And then on the side, mailer prices vary depending on how much you decide to do. So you'll just have to communicate with Local IQ on that. And then for the better package, only difference that we're recommending for this one for the better is you can purchase that customer list. It does not have the emails, but it does have the name, phone number, address. Really good for utilizing for cold calling or sending mailer follow-ups in following months. Definitely utilizing it for follow-ups in the future. And then the best is adding in personal creative on top of purchasing the customer list in one of the packages. So they do offer personal creative. So let's say you've already honed in on commercial and have already gotten some jobs up on your belt, pictures and things you want to maybe throw on your own creative. You can add your own photos, which I think make it a little bit more localized and personal that way. So adding that in, and then you can get creative with it. One other thing I would suggest is, let's say you've done a local grocery store, another local business that's pretty well known. You can add a section in that email that just says, local businesses or something that, I don't know, you can get creative with it. For other local businesses to maybe notice, oh, I did notice they got a paint job done. It looks great. Maybe I should connect with that owner, see how things have worked out with them, and 5-star. It just starts a conversation. So thinking about doing that. And then if you're curious about what the cadence looks like, it is 2 months. So 9th week, we will do a match back. Just a caveat, since these are going to decision makers, they may send it to somebody else who needs to officially make the decision in the end. I wouldn't say this is going to be as trackable as the spring campaigns and the fall campaigns for residential. Could get forwarded to somebody else to make the decision. Somebody who books the estimate might be doing it through a different email or a different address potentially. So just making sure whenever these are getting deployed, you're double checking on where they heard about 5-star. It could still be Google if they went to Google to look up some more. But it would be nice to kind of dive in and see maybe where they potentially got the email, etc. And you'll have the first email deployed on the first week, display and social going the full 2 months. 3rd week, the second email will go out. 5th week, the 3rd email will go out. And the 7th week, the 4th email will go out. Any questions on the cadence or the packages that may or may not have been answered in the chat or asked in the chat? Take the silence as a no. Cool. We pass it back to Marley. If Marley's.
I got a question.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, Brian.
So what technology are you using to compile the list of 25,000 businesses / decision makers?
Yes. So Local IQ has their own program. They're the ones hosting all of this, kind of like the residential spring campaigns that we've done and the fall campaign coming up. They have a system pretty similar. If y'all have ever gotten a commercial list to me, they'll be pulling the SIC code. So if you say you want an apartment list for me, it's basically the same thing. They just have a little bit more detail than we do. That's where they're able to get those lists. If that answers your question, Brian, I can get more
Well,
detail.
it said
if
in
you would
the, it
like
said
me
in the
to.
slide decision, so I get it. Yeah, they, you know, a lot of these
Mhm.
places have availability to get a business name, email, whatever it may be. But how do we know they're getting the actual decision maker and just not some random person they found on LinkedIn or something like that?
So I can answer this one, Allie.
For it,
So
Miley.
this is pulled from an opt-in list. So likely what has happened is that the person that we're targeting has filled out a form and opted in for marketing and listed out their within that form, they probably had a section listing what their job title was. I know I've done that several times where, you know, I go in and say local performance marketing manager. And what they'll do is they'll set parameters around decision makers. So it's anyone with a highly likely to impact title. Owner, office manager, CMO, CEO, people within those title ranges is typically what they'll pull, but we can get the exact parameters around that and send it after the call.
Thanks, Briley.
Awesome.
Cindy?
My campaign already started, but is it too late for me to purchase the customer list?
No, you can purchase the customer list at any time. Even if your campaign's run and it's been done for a month, they can still go back and get that for you. Tim?
So if you did the campaign, they still make you pay for the list?
Yep.
Okay, that seems awesome.
The way it is.
All right, with that, we're just going to do a quick summary because the slides Allie just shared have a lot of really good details, but when it's boiled down, really we wanted to showcase to you guys what the difference between the three options were. All of the options have package ranges in terms of what budget you're looking at between $1,900 and $4,800. They all have mailers available for you guys to send out to have a physical version of that marketing in the hands of those businesses that we're targeting. Where you start to see the differences within the package options are, again, to that customer list that we just talked through. The reason I think that's a really valuable ad, even if it is an additional dollar amount, is that we're able to take that and go and build off of it. So say you guys run this campaign, you really want to target these audiences again in a different way. You now have access to people that you've already hit 1, 2, 3, 4 times with marketing. So they're more likely to change their behaviors now that they've already been impacted through our marketing programs. And then the best option, getting hyper specific, hyper local, is all capable through personalized creative. So you're able to use your imagery. You know, you're not going to have palm trees if you're somewhere in Minnesota. Getting really personal and creative so that your local communities are connecting with what they're seeing visually.
Then just so y'all can get a quick look at the creative, I know a lot of y'all have already seen it. But just a quick look at some interior, exterior photos. You can choose your offer that you want to do on there. If you don't want to do 10% off, you can totally change that to whatever commercial offer you're wanting to run right now. Worked with Kathy Strachey to work on this little list. So shout out Kathy Strachey for helping me out on that. Just kind of what makes 5-star different in the commercial space. And then we have our mailers. If you decide to do mailers, the Facebook lead ad, so they just have a stagnant one and then a carousel Facebook lead ad that they'll do, which will have multiple photos, and then your display ads. And the one thing I did want to point out on the Facebook lead ads is some owners have been worried about where they're coming from. They will be connected to your local Facebook page, so it won't be coming from Reach Local, Local IQ Facebook, or anything else. It'll be localized to you. I wanted to point that out. And then just some typical, a lot of questions that we've been getting, common questions. You can purchase the information for $300. It will include company name, first and last name, address, if there's a suite number, city, state, and zip code. And then the campaign has begun. I know a few of y'all have already started. This began on the 15th. I am making a deadline for September 30th, just because this is commercial. We're in budgeting season, about to start budgeting season, so I want to keep you guys in that window instead of missing it. So the cutoff date is September 30th. That's coming up in about a week and a half. So if you have been thinking about it or wanting to do it, definitely sign up now, so we can get that started for you. A lot of owners were wondering how often the email database is scrubbed. Local IQ said they are scrubbed monthly, and if there's anything invalid, any unsubs, they'll take that out in real time. So your first email goes out in 5 bounce. They'll immediately remove those and they'll have those replaced for the next email send that goes out. And then what Brian was asking, where do they get these emails from? 100% opt-in, permission-based. They're gathered through product registrations, questionnaires and surveys, traditional print electronic subscriptions, and then they have their network of partnered websites that they're with. And then if you are interested in signing up, we have a QR code to scan. If you cannot scan this QR code and you're driving or you're on your phone, we'll make sure to send out a link to you guys. And then I will also post it on the Facebook page as well. For those who are looking on the Facebook page often, you can sign up there too. I'll give you guys a second. Any questions? Oh, we give some people some time to scan potentially. Anything that wasn't answered that you still want to know? Floor is open. Cool. Well, Greg, I will be passing it back to you.
Thank you.
Of course.
So I'm excited. This is the first opportunity we've had to really get in front of businesses in our territories, in your territories. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is that it's generating leads by capitalizing on corporate America budgeting season. So I'd like to tell you guys that I am so smartical that I came up with this strategy myself, but I did not. I was in